Hi everyone, my name is Veronica Gantley and this is my personal brand story. First I'm going to start with the backstory, then I'm going to go to my outer layer and then my inner layer, and then I'll give you my UVP. My backstory is that I was raised in a large American Irish Catholic family. There were 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls, and I was the middle girl. I had a typical childhood growing up in America. We came inside when the street lights went out. I was a product of public school. My father was in the Navy. He retired from the Navy when I was like 13, and then we ended up settling in Virginia Beach to be specific. My childhood was, pretty decent. When I got into my early 20s, I started having some health problems. And at first, we thought I had cancer because I had some type of growth in one of my ovaries. And come to find out, it ended up being a disease called endometriosis. And I ended up losing one of my ovaries. And the doctor said that I probably should, if I'm going to have children, I might want to think about having them within the next 5 years, or I probably won't be able to. And that kind of hit me hard because I always thought that I'd always be able to have children. I met my husband actually at my brother's wedding, and we dated for a couple years and then got married. 8 years after that doctor gave me that diagnosis, I had my daughter Christine, and I consider her my miracle baby. She's absolutely wonderful. She's 26 now, and she has a baby of her own, my first grandbaby. His name is Timothy. She named him after her dad. Speaking of her dad and I were married for 23 years before he passed away suddenly. We're not quite sure what it was, but on his death certificate they put pulmonary embolism, which was a blood clot to the lungs, they believe. But he went quick, and it was very devastating for me. It was probably one of the worst days of my entire life. I couldn't believe that he was there 1 second and then gone the next. It was absolutely horrible. And 6 months after that, I ended up losing my mother to lung cancer. She was a pretty heavy smoker. From then, I felt lost. I felt kind of not all there. I guess maybe grief stricken, but to me, it seemed more than grief stricken, almost depressed. And I turned to my Catholic faith, and I had lots of friends who really helped me out during that hard time because it was really hard. I was the type of wife where I would just hand over my paycheck to my husband and he knew what to do with it. So, to be honest with you, when he died, I had no idea what type of finances we had. I had no idea how much any of my bills were because I always just gave him the money for it. I had to relearn all of that. And then on top of that, the week after his death, I ended up getting some type of computer virus and I couldn't get into my computer. And Virginia Power almost cut off my power because I couldn't, I had no idea that the bill was due. So there was a lot of stuff that had changed with me and a lot of stuff that I had to deal with after Tim's passing, along with his death. And one of them was trying to get all the bills paid and figure out how all of this works. Chrissy was very great with that, my daughter. She helped me out as much as she could. And we have even a stronger bond than before her dad was alive. She's getting married next month, and I'm really looking forward to that. And my grandson will be 2 next month, too. He'll be 2 on the 2nd of November. And my daughter's getting married on the 11th of November. And things are really looking up now. But like I said, in 2017, not quite 2 weeks after my birthday, when I lost my husband, it went crazy, and it seemed like for the past couple years it's been crazy with the COVID and everything else. It's some of the things that I thought of is that now what? I'm always like kind of worried about when's the shoe gonna drop, when the other shoe's gonna drop. But it seems like things are starting to look up. Things are really starting to look up for me, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Um, my UVP, I would say, always moving forward, always striving forward. And there's lots of things that I've learned from Tim's death, but I think the biggest would be, and I know that it's probably a cliche, but you just got to let them know you love them, because if you don't and something happens and they don't know, like with my husband, I always said, I mean, I know he loved me, but I never really said it a lot. So when he died, I kind of felt like, gosh, maybe I should have told him I loved him more. So I always make sure with Chrissy, whenever I hang up the phone or whenever I leave, I give her a hug and I tell her I love her because I do and I want her to know. So that's my story. Thank you.